Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. I was very hesitant about giving up this week's tip because this week's tip is one that I use all the time, and I frankly don't want all of you guys using this tip, because if you use it, then I won't be able to use it anymore. But we're going to throw it out there because, well, you never know. When it comes to buying stuff from an auction, you want to check the details, okay? So many times things are mislabeled and misrepresented or underrepresented that people in the know overlook it, and the item ends up going for such a steal, okay? The item that I bid on had 2 notes, and it sold as if there was only 1 note. That means that I got my item essentially buy one, get one free. And I know this because my particular item sold for whatever amount, and there was 2 of them, but the previous item was just one of these, and it sold for a very similar amount. So people are not paying attention. Check auction details to see how many items you are bidding on, okay? Even at a place like Heritage Auction, where you'd think everybody's paying attention, nope, I snuck one by them. All right, we'll get to that later. I've got my $1,000 in singles here. Let's take a look at what I found this week. I checked my envelope, and these notes did not come from my standard bank. I actually went around to a bunch of the banks that I drop off notes at to grab, a strap or 2 from each of them, just to make sure that nothing has changed, and that I'm still normally getting my notes from a really good location. And this is kind of a thin stack for me. So yeah, I'm definitely, this may be more what you're used to getting, since I seem to have found the jackpot when it comes to searching notes. Anyway, I start off with a trinary, 1s, 2s, and 6s here. 2s, 3s, and 5s on this trinary. 0s, 2s, and 6s on this one. And then I get quads. Quad 3s right there. Quad 4s to start this note, and it's a trinary, 0s, 4s, and 8s. Quad 7s. Another note with quad 7s is the trailer. Quad 9s right in the middle. And then I've got 5 of a kind, 5 2s. I did find some stars. This one is in really nice shape. I'll have to check this one out once, I'll check all my stars. You guys have seen the video how I do that. Another 2017 star, also really nice shape. 2013 star, starting with a couple zeros. 2013B, so it's got a couple zeros to start, probably one of the duplicated notes. Maybe I'll get lucky. 2013 star as well. And we get to, normally this is where the older notes would be, but I wanted to double check this 2017A because it's a D series. I wanted to check that against my binder because it's just about uncirculated. Same thing with this one from Richmond, Virginia. Really good shape. Just wanted to check it with my book. Normally 2001 is as recent as I stop, but this 2003 K note is actually in okay shape, so I wanted to compare that to my book as well. Then we get to the ones that I always save. 2001, 1995, that one's pretty raw. Another 1995, but it's an I note, so I'm saving it, but an I note is always good. You don't see a whole lot of those. 1988A, of course it's not a web note. The seal's a little low, but that's not an error. Not only is the seal low, that means the serial numbers are also a little low on the sheet, but not significant enough to be considered an error by any stretch of the imagination. And then the oldest note was a 1988A, also not a web note, but this one is an I note, and it's fairly crisp. You can see I hold it and it doesn't flop down. So it is in really good shape for an I note, and this one probably will upgrade in my book. So that was my finds from my strap search. What did I bring up from my collection? Well, a few weeks ago, I posted a video about my experience with Heritage Auctions. And I was I had fun. I enjoy heritage auctions. I enjoy the way that they do the process. It starts off like eBay, where the items are posted and you can bid on them the same way on eBay, where you put in your max bid and it will incrementally bid for you. But then it always closes in a live auction. And to be present during the live auction, you get that little bit of a buyer's frenzy when people are starting to go back and forth on a particular item. Most of that has to do with FOMO. Yes, fear of missing out. And when people are going back and forth on a note, you're sitting there going, did I miss something? Is there something about that note I should know? What didn't I see? And that's the kind of stuff that gets your buying temperature up, which is probably what got me to buy this particular note here. Not that there was buying or bidding on this particular note, but I saw something that I didn't think anybody else saw. And that was, there wasn't one note I was bidding on from Heritage. There was two. And I paid the one note price. I made it very clear that the note, what I had paid for these was a $95 bid. And with everything all said and done, I paid $142. So what are these? I have not talked about what these are the entire time I've talked about Heritage Auction. We'll start with the lesser of the two. What this is a back specimen note for, I believe it's an 1869, maybe 1865. I'll double check the year. The third issue 25-cent fractional currency. Okay, and I say back specimen because if you look on the other side, there is nothing. I don't want to say it's nothing. I don't know if it's a bleed through or if they started the print so that you get the offset print on the back. But this is basically the specimen note, a test note, so to speak. They were testing different colors, different sizes, different patterns and stuff. So therefore, it is a specimen note. And if you look at the note itself, it even says specimen here. Now, this is considered, even though this is the back of the note that was designed, this is considered the front of this particular note because the specimen is only of the back design. So this would be the front. You can see everything is correct on this. And if you flip it over onto the back, everything is reversed. Of course, it does say specimen here to identify it as a specimen note. This one is, which one is this? This would be the wide margin. And then they also did the back in green. You can see this one is 63, and it's a back specimen, same issue, third issue back specimen, but this one has the green back instead of the red back. And this one, you can see the margins are narrow. So you have a narrow margin versus a wide margin, which is pretty interesting when you size them up, because basically it looks like it's the same print, but you're just talking a different cut. So that's kind of interesting to see how that goes. This one is definitely smaller than this one. So, but once again, this falls the same way. You've got the back side of the note, which is presented as the front of the note. Because of the reverse of this note, you can see everything printed backwards, except specimen. Specimen is printed this way. Now, this is the way they did specimens. They did specimens one side at a time, just so that they can check each plate, check how the design works. By doing them separately like that, it's much easier to make changes. So specimens are only going to be from one side of the particular thing. Now you can see here it says Choice New 63, apparent small edge tear at left. Well, if I'm holding this and I get in here real close, I'm not seeing anything here on the left. And even if they looked at it the other way and are calling this the left, I'm really not seeing it. Even if I check this side, once again, let it focus, not seeing any tear, which is fine. They saw it outside of here, so, they would know. Is that it there, maybe? Maybe that's it there. Okay, either way, 63 apparent. And of course, when I bought this, all this was easy to see because this was all part of the actual, the picture from Heritage. But I keep stressing about these, and well, what makes these so good? Why was this such a great deal? And let me show you. I've got the book. Try to move those out of the way a little bit better. If we go into the book, you can see on the bottom, it does have fractional currency. And one of the other things it says for fractional currency is proofs and specimens. And you can see 3-cent, 5-cent notes. They don't go into great detail as far as showing pictures of each one. What they do is they simply give it the same FR number as the regular note, but then they include the SP for specimen. So you have to determine what note you have the specimen for. And mine was $12.90. It's a 25-cent note. You can see it's $12.91 SP with red reverse without surcharge. And that's how it's graded. And you can see here, they list it narrow margin and wide margin. That's the two ways that they put those. And it's pretty easy to determine the margin when you have one of each like that. They don't list it in a grade because, well, let's think about that. What is AU? AU stands for about uncirculated. And these weren't circulated. they were never in circulation. So you can't really put that kind of a grade on the note because it's not circulated. All right, red reverse without surcharge. That's the one that I have. I'm just going to pull these out here. Right here you can see $12.91 SP. Red reverse, this is the wide margin. And that would be right here. Wait a second. Mine is the wide margin. Let me just say that one more time. And $12.91 SP red reverse without surcharge. Well, it's $12.91 SP. That's what that is. $12.91 SP. Red reverse without surcharge. Wide margin. I just want to make sure it's on the purple or the pinkish line. The wide margin, it says, is $350. $350 for the wide margin. The narrow margin would be the green, and that is $12.94 SP. And the $12.94 SP right there, green reverse without surcharge. Narrow margin is $125. So, $125 on this one, $350 on this one. That's $475 according to the book. My high bid was $95, and I got both of these. You can find deals on Heritage Auction. You just have to look and be aware of all those other secret prices that are going to be in there. So was I happy with my purchase from Heritage Auction? Yes. Yes, I was. Very happy with this particular purchase. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time.